So I got something kind of fun today. I saw this, people spreading this around on LinkedIn today. So I thought it was pretty fun. So we're going to do a bit of role play. We're going to assume that for the last 100 years, because electric cars were created, what was it, like 1910, the first ones? I mean, they've been around a long time. So let's assume that electric cars have been the thing for the past 120 years. People are now trying to bring gas cars to market as an alternative to electric vehicles. So I've got a question. So here we go. So if I buy a gas car, I've got some questions. Starters, I've heard that gas cars cannot be refueled at home while you sleep. So how often do you have to go refuel elsewhere? Would there be a solution for refueling at home? This is, a common thing we hear because people are always talking about where am I going to charge it? It's like, well, you charge it at home. The people that have EVs, how often do you have to go to a charging station? How often do you have to go fuel your EV somewhere else, Mike? It's not very often, is it?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. What's immediately coming to mind is I'm trying to think of market solutions. How would the market respond to that? And I think, well, maybe a truck drives around in the middle of the night and we'll fill up your car while you're sleeping and go through that. But you have to go into our garage and trust us. But that's funny because it's such an overlooked benefit. Like, well, yeah, you do it while you're
You
sleeping.
could do that. You could have an electric truck that's driving around with a tank of fuel on the back of it and goes to everybody's house and refuels their car at night and then just dings their credit card. Which parts will I need to service and how often? The salesman mentioned oil in the engine and timing belts need to be replaced and a box with gears in it. What is this? How much will the service cost and how often? And what happens to the old oil? So we, Bill and I had a session yesterday. Somebody at a Hyundai dealership out in California got a $1,500 bill on a Hyundai Ioniq 5 for something called an ion flush. Apparently, it's a
That's
real thing. There's there's two different types of coolant that the Hyundais use, and this special coolant costs $60 a gallon retail. Takes 4 gallons, and it takes 2 hours for a guy to replace it. They charge somebody $1,500 for it. Some dealers offer the service for $289. This one charged 1,500, and it's supposed to be done every
wow.
30,000 miles. Yeah, this is on the
An
Ionic
ion
5
flush,
only.
huh?
It's the only car that has this service. Number three, apparently these gas car types stop on the brakes alone, so the brakes wear out much faster. How long will they last compared to my current car, which lasts over 300,000 miles? In a gas or diesel car, do I get fuel back when I slow down or drive downhill? So when you hit the brakes in the gas car, does it put gas back in your tank like it does in an EV? Number four, the car I test drove seemed to have a delay from the time I pressed the accelerator until it began to accelerate. Is this normal in gas cars? It's one thing, people don't really appreciate, until they try an EV and see it's like, oh, you touch it, it goes.
I will say that from experience too. Just the lack of transition between gears and what it is. You don't just that little bit of revving and a nice luxury car you don't notice it as much, but with an EV it just kind of goes. There's no lurch at all. There's a delay.
All right. So number five, is it true that gas is flammable? If gas and diesel so dangerous that you can only buy the fuel at a special filling station and not anywhere else like a hotel or a parking garage or at home at work, why are people using it?
That's at the top of the list for me of really funny ones and to go through and I was hoping this list was going to go there because it is such a caustic and unstable element, or component or liquid or whatever you want to call it, that it's you can't smoke around it. Not that that's a big deal anymore. You can't light a match around it. You have to be careful. You have to store it in a special place. You have to have a special container, for your gas can or whatever that is. It's such a we've gotten used to it over the years, but yeah, taking a step back and looking at it of talking about unexplained fires or dangers or whatever that might be. There's a whole genre of like 80s action movies. Somebody blowing up the gas station and what that caused.
Yep. Number six is that I understand the main ingredient in gas is oil. Is it true that the extraction and refining of oil causes environmental problems as well as conflicts and major wars that over the last 100 years have cost millions of lives? People always want to talk about, oh, there's some slave labor of children being used in the Congo to extract cobalt. And it is true that 60% of the world's cobalt comes from Congo. And it's a very tiny percentage. There's a lot of people that mine cobalt in that country, and a very tiny percentage of it probably do use child slave labor. But hasn't wars over oil cost millions of lives. It's really crazy to think about that argument.
Oh, 100%. Don't want to diminish, the use of child labor and extraction and issues that those individual countries face. But yeah, when in the grand scheme of things, if you're going to balance out those scales, I think oil is going to fall pretty heavily on the negative side of that.
All right, I've been told that you have to transport oil all over the world to turn into gas or diesel, and these ships have in the past damaged the environment by leaking the oil. Oh man. Number 8. I've been told that these internal combustion engines make a noise when you start them. So early starts can wake people up and driving a lot of internal combustion engine cars in towns can make towns noisy. Is there some danger of noise pollution? All right. Here it's time for the best one. Number 9. Is it true people can steal the fuel from your car? Could you imagine somebody trying to siphon electricity out of your EV? I mean, I know it's possible because I watched something where somebody couldn't charge their Rivian and a Tesla Cybertruck was charging the Rivian truck.
That is, and I've been wondering about that too. I wish I followed it better, but vehicle to vehicle charging, just that idea, like, well, if I do get stuck or something happens, is there a connector? I guess they haven't even figured out iPhone to iPhone charging, so cars are cars are probably a minute
I
away, but
suspect in the particular
still,
case
that's
they
funny.
were they were also at a Tesla supercharger, and maybe I'm pretty sure it was an R1T. I don't think it was one that was set up for NACS charging. It was probably set up for CCS charging, and but apparently the Tesla had bidirectional, and it
Mhm.
was able to pump electrons into the Rivian. Okay, this one's a good one. Okay, number 10. Is it true that when it's really cold out, gas vehicles sometimes just don't start, and that they get 15% less gas mileage in the cold? We always hear about EVs getting less range in the cold, but I saw somebody doing the math on this, and the reduction in gas mileage in a gas car is actually quite a bit more expensive than the loss of energy from heating your car in the EV because electricity is just so much cheaper. Okay, here's another one. My electric car converts 80% of the energy and I buy for it into motion to move me around. I hear gas cars only convert 20% of the energy that drivers pay for into motion to move them around. Can that be true? That's a terrible waste of money. There are some gas engines now that are like 31% efficient. And I've seen some stuff being done where they're thinking they can get,
Mhm.
I think it was Toyota was saying they may be able to get it up to 47% efficient in some prototypes. And I've seen some other stuff that with hybrid tech that was talking about getting above 50%. It is kind of funny to see that. Now, if I can get all of the above questions answered, it turns out there to be no downsides to owning a gas car. I may have to consider buying one.
Hi, I'm David with EV World News. If you like this video, then please press the like button. If you like the content and would like to see more videos on electric vehicles, then please hit the subscribe button. If you have some feedback for us, please let us know.